Let's make a toast. Got a swisher full of West Coast killers in the Jacks. No, Ross got the best smoke. Bubble Kush with the West. Yeah, I blaze that often. My dad's infused with that A black chocolate. I've been reaching higher heights and pray without the mics like Kit, no Michael, 19 and no Ike, like FEMA, no Hawk.
How did I make you the longest fucking intro? I was like, when does this end?
20 seconds.
That shit felt longer than my other two that
20
I made
seconds. Maybe 17, maybe 18.
Should turn into like a music video channel.
Yes. I was like, hold on. I figured we're doing
the Urban Wrestling Music
intros,
Channel. Yeah.
But the Muffins Martinez fucking intro feels like the fucking Undertaker, right? Like, I was like, yo, this shit is abnormally long.
Dude, I felt like a big muffin just dancing on stage.
So, word on the streets is the Lucha Bros are saying, we want to go to WWE.
Wow.
Yes, and it's a joint deal. You can't sign one without the other. It's a working in a pack. Also, I've seen, now I don't know how believable it is. They really don't want to go to NXT. They want to go to the main roster. Now, these two guys are good enough to be on anybody's roster. AEW, Impact, WWE, doesn't matter. But anywhere these two guys go, they're going to murder it. Everywhere we've seen them. We've seen them on Lucha Underground. We've seen them on Impact Wrestling. We've seen them in MLW. We've seen them in AEW. And they continuously shine, and bubble. These two guys are arguably one of my favorite tag teams of all time. I'm a big fan of what they do. Gentlemen, WWE, Lucha Bros saying, fuck it, we won belts every single place we have worked. We want them WWE goals. What do y'all think?
I'm very curious to see how this will go out as well, because WWE doesn't have a sterling track record with Latino talent. They've been searching for like 2 decades for the next Rey Mysterio, and they just keep bringing back Rey Mysterio.
Wait, and I gotta cut you off because Dominic Mysterio, who I wasn't a huge fan of,
Dominic's
gotta be one of the most hated people in wrestling, and I love it. Right? What his transition is fucking phenomenal. He's with one of the hottest women in fucking wrestling, Liv Morgan. She looks great. That group they have is falling to shit. So I'm loving what I'm seeing. I just had to cut you off because Dominic Mysterio might be that guy.
Oh no, yeah, Dominic is great. No, in WWE 2K, I play a game in some spare time, and he was like one of the highlights in the storyline mode, career mode kind of thing, with prison rules. But like as a whole though, like just broad scale, WWE doesn't have a great track record with Latino talent, and really like outside of Judgment Day, like most of their Latino talent is like fighting amongst themselves in the circle of the LWO. So, and like in the past, like we've had Andrade, you know, during his first stint, didn't really do a whole lot. Like Zelina Vega, well, I mean, she's still kind of stuck in that LWO limbo. Both Sin Caras, like they've not done anything. Like what's going on with Dragon Lee? Like he is arguably, you know, has more upside than Phoenix right now just because he's younger, and like he's just kind of disappeared off the face of the earth too. Maybe he's injured. I don't know. Someone can correct me in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. So like on that front, I do worry on creatively speaking, like how well the Lucha Brothers will do in the WWE. Like if they go to NXT, like they'll dominate there, obviously, because they will be. There'll be something different, and they'll be able to kind of like play a player coach role, so they can have their success while still putting over the next generation of superstars. But overall, like, so I have like worries about that. But that being said, get that bag. Get whoever's going to pay you the most money, because the professional wrestling industry is a business, and a business that ultimately doesn't care about you. So if you can make a few extra million here than you were before, take it, especially for the Lucha Brothers. So like, and I'm not going to do this to poop on AEW, but they've been with AEW day one. Like at a certain level, to keep from being stale, you do need to refresh the scenery in some way, shape, or form. And in the olden days, you know, wrestlers didn't stay with a company like for years upon years upon years. Like maybe the top babyface in your territory would stay for a decade. But the heels, like those guys were moving. And honestly, a vast majority of your roster was moving around every handful of years. And we hadn't really seen that with WWE being the solid number one and basically just keeping chunks of people for, decades. I mean, Dolph Ziggler was there for like 15 years somehow. Miz, Randy Orton's entering year like 22 or 23 in terms of, and that's just main roster. So like, having this sort of competition, like we can like poo-poo it and be like, oh, they're going to be wasted or whatever, but like this is actually going to be best for professional wrestling in general, especially just the buzz that it's going to create, like once, like either A, when the news breaks, or B, when they just show up unannounced on WWE television. Like the internet and wrestling fans are just going to go crazy, go nuts, like positive or negative, either way someone's talking about it. And like this will has and will go both ways as people jump ship from side to side. And really, as a whole, that'll make the industry stronger. Because what was one of the best things about the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars? You didn't know who was going to show up on your TV week to week. So, you had Scott Hall literally out of nowhere, just poof, cutting promos from the crowd when like everyone still thought he was WWE. Lex Luger showing up on the first Nitro unannounced. The 1-2-3 Kid, X-Pac, just showing up on a random Raw out of nowhere. Like, these jumps are going to happen, and they'll be better for the industry as a whole. So get that bag, man.
Yeah, I was going to say about Dominic Mysterio. I mean, you have to be one hell of a talent when you already have been a heel for a whole year, and then you go into super heel mode, and you become another heel again when you choose Liv Morgan over Mommy. So he went from being a heel to a super heel in one day.
And still won.
I've never seen that before, when you already a heel and you hate it and you get booed to death. And now you could tell that dude, his volume does not get drowned by anything. They literally hate this guy everywhere he goes. So, and the Lucha, like Rob K had mentioned.
I want to say something. So I'll ask you. You feel that he did the bad guy thing of going with Liv, right? The Rhea thing was over. It already had its time, right? Yeah.
Well, he was already a heel, and then he went super mode heel, like Super Saiyan heel. like this dude is hated even more. Like that's even possible. So you're doing something right when you keep healing up to the next level of heelism. Like I'm heel number 10 now, super duper, Super Saiyan heel, like all total black, just clouds everywhere and shit. But the Lucha Brothers, like Rob K had mentioned, different times you got to make that money. They've been to Impact Wrestling, MLW, AEW for the, like you said, last 5 years. They've done Mexico all their lives, so this is a chance for them to go somewhere where they're gonna get a fresh start. It's going to be, everything is going to be fresh, and they're going to get paid. And pretty sure some folks from WWE, when their contract will expire, they will jump ship and go to AEW. It's a given that's how we live now. Like Rob K mentioned, week to week, somebody's going to be popping up somewhere here and there. Now, will they hit NXT? I don't know. I mean, everybody hits NXT. So that's always been the rule. So unless
AJ Styles is the only one, right?
AJ Styles was the only one who never went to NXT. If that happens, then I'm pretty sure they'll have some kind of something in the contract. Okay, we'll sign with you guys, but we want to go up to the main roster. We don't want to go to NXT. So we'll see what happens there. But right now, NXT is getting everything. Giulia, Stephen Baker, Delta. Now they mentioned it, the Lucha Brothers about to sign with them. So everybody keeps saying, oh, everybody's leaving to go to WWE. No. There's folks like Rob K said, been there for 15 years, 10 years, that are going to say, dude, it's time for me to go get the bag somewhere else and see how somewhere else it feels like. And AEW will get some folks later on this year, because that's how it's going to be. And then you have the last two being Impact and MLW, who they're going to get, and N.W.A. on who they're going to get here and there. So, They lost the Lucha Brothers, but they picked up M&M collection.
Who?
Maximum Male Models,
Yeah, the
Mansoor,
Maximum
and
Male Models.
yeah.
Well, to Ring of Honor, they went right to Ring of Honor, but they're getting the bag somewhere else. They get to be more free. You know, they were handcuffed in one place, how we see it. Now they get free, and now they're getting paid somewhere else, where they have their insurance, they have their money coming in every 3 months, so they don't have to do the indie stuff anymore. You know, like some of the other indie individuals, but you know, so it's a trade-off. You know, and that was a joke by me saying that we got M&M collection because they're not in the same level as the Lucha Brothers, but you know, it's something.
As much as I like the videos they did after WWE, the Maximum Male Model guys, they're not on the Lucha Bros level.
Oh, God, of course not.
Yeah, it's
that was a joke. Yeah, that was a joke. But like Rob K said, dude, wrestling does not owe you anything. They're not. Wrestling is not your friend. Wrestling is not going to take care of you. You got to take care of yourself, your health, and your family. If the money's there and they give you the opportunity to go, we're going to pay you this much at these certain dates a year, 250 or whatever, and you get to keep this intellectual wise, and you get to keep this. Do we have a deal? You got to go where the money is nowadays. It's not more about the friendship or where do you trust or where do you feel comfortable. Because the minute you get hurt, something happens, you can even get kicked out of the company. They're going to let you out. And
I agree with that. I agree with that, but it annoys me because without the AJ Styles and the James Storms and all those guys, there is no TNA. Without the Hogans and Macho Mans and XYZ, there's no WWE. So when people say, oh, the company doesn't owe you, they owe you everything. Because if you took John Cena and The Rock and all those guys and Roman Reigns right now, and you take all their top end talent, take them out, people ain't watching unless you're going to cover it with big name guys. Same thing with, it's kind of like Vince Carter, right? Me being a sports guy. Vince Carter gets drafted to Golden State. Toronto trades for him. Toronto trades Antoine Jameson. He goes to Golden State. The Vancouver Grizzlies, they don't have Vince Carter. We now know them as the Memphis Grizzlies because they didn't have a star. So without getting a guy like Vince Carter, your franchise doesn't have that guy to keep going. So they owe everything for him.
Plus, nobody wanted to go to Vancouver. Steve Francis.
I get that. Because of the taxes.
Vancouver.
Because of the taxes and all that.
Hostage to the guy got him out of there. I'm not putting in Vancouver.
Well, listen, the Raptors, they don't sign free agents. Nobody wants to go there, right? But you have a young guy like Scotty Barnes right now. People like him. He's a likable guy and all that other good shit. But they've won a championship. But still, no Vince Carter, you're gone.
Yeah.
Right? So all these guys, the wrestling name is just a name. The talents make the company's name special, right? It's what we said with the Fatus and Hammerstones and Tom Lawlers, and we can keep going with former champions and the Alex Kane now. Without those guys, MLW is not MLW. You know what I'm saying? This is why it frustrates me when I hear that, oh, the company or whatever don't owe you shit. They owe you fucking everything. Because if it wasn't for fucking you, these motherfuckers wouldn't be making the money you do through your merchandise and all that other shit. This is my beef with mad shit.
Well, Rob K is correct to the point. We're in 2024 now. All those things have changed and left back then 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean,
and when we say that they don't, I mean, there's like, okay, this is a pro workers' rights thing. Like, I mean, they should, but let's face it, any large entity got to be large for a reason, and it's usually built off the back of your workers and or your best workers.
Exactly.
However, the reality of the situation is that they, especially once you get to a certain point, your WWE is not going to go away. Like, yes, no. AEW may hurt it. Like, they may come close to bankruptcy like they did in like 1996, but like people almost go to like say WWE just to say they went to the WWE. Does it help have John Cena coming back for his retirement tour? Yes. Did it help for The Rock to come back as the final boss? Yes. Did it help for Cody Rhodes to jump back? Yes. However, they survived a very long time during, like, I would call some creatively bankrupt periods in the 2000s on, like, taking your best assets and just rolling them into the ground for no good reason creatively.
We have WrestleMania 40, right? We have The Rock be involved in one match on one night and then do his shit on the next day. We haven't seen that dude ever since. But you know he's coming back for WrestleMania 41 because he already said he wanted to wrestle Cody Rhodes next year in WrestleMania 41. So people already know he's going to come back eventually, already in January and February. But no one's seen this guy ever since WrestleMania.
But he's The Rock.
You already know he's coming back.
And like some guys like that, and we can make some other arguments in terms of just like how guys roll. Is that like just because you're a guy like isn't going to mean like everyone's going to sell out everything just to see you, or even if they are going to sell out, like you're not going to do the crowds you would with WWE or say AEW, regardless of how over you are. I mean, The Rock can come over to Davenport, Iowa for an SCW Pro show, but he's not going to bring in 10,000 folks.
What? Are you fucking crazy?
Oh, hold on.
No.
I know I'm blind, so that means I'm not deaf. Say that again.
I said you could bring in someone like The Rock, send them to like SCW Pro in Davenport, Iowa, and they're not going to sell out like a 5,000 seat place just because
if
they don't have the
5,000
machine.
people can fit, you're going to have 5,000 people there.
I will argue. I mean, yes, okay. Using Seth Rollins as an example, Seth Rollins
is not The Rock.
No,
Exactly.
but Seth Rollins also didn't give us a bump in attendance either when he showed up. In general,
when did he show up?
It's been a handful of years now.
Now, was he big time like he is now, or no?
I mean, this was pre-fashionista Seth Rollins, but yeah, he was. This was post-Shield, post-World Heavyweight Champion.
This is Shield.
Post-Shield, World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins showed up at basically came back home and didn't do a whole lot for ticket sales.
I'm kind of surprised about that, the Seth Rollins, but dude, The Rock. I don't know, man.
The Rock is selling out any venue he goes to.
Whew.
It's the people's champ. It's the final fucking boss.
Okay. I will acquiesce that The Rock was a poor example for that.
Yeah,
but I will note that there's a lot of people who pop up on the indies that were at one point some big names weren't necessarily bringing in that many extra people to the seats.
But like you said right now, at one point they were big. At one point.
Well, but I'm talking like fresh stuff, like Matt Cardona, like depending on where you were at.
Matt Cardona.
I mean, Cardona's built up his stock since leaving the WWE.
I'm saying you said Mike Cardona. I ain't gonna go see Mike Cardona.
Yeah, we've already determined that at times your taste is questionable.
Dude.
Whoa!
I mean, that is true. I mean, I'm not going to argue about that one. That's correct. But I am not going to waste my time and a ticket to go see Mike Cardona anywhere. I don't care how big he is. Now, The Rock, I might have to sell, Chef's Young to get money for a ticket. To go see The Rock. I'm not missing The Rock wherever in Indiana and somewhere in the middle of the corn state. I'm going to be there seeing The Rock. I'm throwing corn at the man. Get some corn.
Okay.
Get some corn for the kids.
So, Rob, before I get out of here, you're 39, right?
40 now.
40. Even better. Even better. Makes my point. Anybody from the age of 40 and older, we're from a society where loyalty is everything, right? Like, and I understand it's not like that now, but you see it with players all the time. They want to keep jumping all over the place. And I have a major issue with it because all these little kids that spend money to buy your jerseys and all this shit, and you leave and you don't really give a fuck. I like the people like the John Cenas. I don't even have to be a fan of you. But if you stay somewhere, I'll respect the fuck out of you because this is my home. This is what I do. The jumping all over the place, it drives me nuts because there's no loyalty. And at that point, this is where I agree with you guys, where the industry says, you know what? You motherfuckers ain't loyal to us. We're not going to be loyal to you. We're going to use you like you're going to use us on a platform. We're going to make money off you, and you do what you got to do outside of that. I agree with that, even though it goes against everything that I know. Loyalty over everything. So I think we hit a few crazy spots. Listen, we got 3 things on you. We got Saturday, 10 p.m. We have the
MLW, you never say
mind,
never.
never say never.
You know what's
That's wrong.
crazy? This is the third topic. My fault. It's over. It's Wednesday. You're seeing this on Wednesday, so it is what it is. Y'all know what it is. Listen, Rob K, Urban Wrestling Network, MLW Confusion, Muffins Martinez, the face of MLW, the face of Urban Wrestling Network, myself, Urban Wrestling Network, take it or leave it. Sports shit coming on here. Can't wait for the homie to come home so we can do some shit. You could do that, and we'll give you those. But when he comes home, we jump on here because this is our home. We out of here. Deuces. Oh, I forgot you got to double click.